Happy Sunday, everybody. This is the part 2 of the NBA Primetime Picks. We're on a 19-8 run on straight picks. We are on a 2-0 run on the NBA Primetime Lays. We got 4 primetime games today, way more than usual. I already posted part 1 for the day games, Philadelphia, Dallas, and Golden State, Boston. If you haven't seen those already, make sure you go watch them. I already have a separate layout for those. Now, we got 2 night games on primetime. I'm pretty sure they're both on ESPN. Knicks at Cleveland, Thunder at Suns. Let's get into them. We'll have a nice parlay cooked up at the end, as we always do. I'm Dr. Profit. A lot of you guys have seen me on other social medias, but I'm trying to break into this YouTube thing, and this is how we're doing it. I'm going to give out my analysis for both games, and at the end, we're going to find our favorite picks and a nice little parlay. So let's get into it. Again, as always, we start with the last 15 games, and we're going to go Knicks. They're allowing the ninth least assists per game. Cleveland allowing the fifth least. So assist props not good for these teams. Cleveland has been pretty mid in the rebounding department last 15 games, mostly because of that Chicago game, because they gave up like 75 rebounds in that Chicago game, something crazy. It might have been even more, honestly. So I bet that's moving the numbers a lot, because we all know they're traditionally a pretty good rebounding team. With that being said, Knicks are also second. So it's going to be a slow-paced game. Rebounds and assists are not going to be there by the dozens for both teams. Now, let's go check the scoring aspect, because that's always the most fun. We'll check catch and shoot for both teams. And again, last 15 games, we got Cavaliers, middle of the pack, a little bit better than average, and Knicks right there with them. So not much edge in the pick and roll and the catch and shoot department. We can check pull-up shots. Knicks not allowing pretty much any. Cavaliers, on the other hand, are allowing a decent bit, and I want to say most of them are in pull-up twos. They're not allowing a lot of makes, but for pull-up shots, I usually attribute the field goal percentage to the player and the attempts to the defense. Then on the other side, for shots in the paint, field goal attempts to the player, and then efficiency to the defense. But besides the point, allowing a decent bit of field goal at pull-up twos, and we can check pull-up threes as well. They're not allowing as much. So Jalen Brunson, hello, how you doing? You should see a good amount of volume, as you always do, without Julius Randle. Now let's check shots in the paint. We got Cavaliers, 41. I want to see, no. I was going to see if I could do per 48 minutes, because, again, I think Chicago's skewing these numbers a lot, but we can check frequency. Maybe that'll help a little bit more. Cavs are pretty much middle of the pack last 15. Knicks are surprisingly allowing a lot. Actually, I shouldn't be that surprised. Their lineup is pretty small now that OJ Anunoby's out. Hartenstein's missed a few games. Mitchell Robinson's still out. No Julius Randle, of course. So maybe I shouldn't be that surprised. So we can target Knicks in the paint. We can't target really either team in the catch and shoot, and we can target Cleveland and the pull-up two department. Now, let's get to some play types. See how teams are scoring against them. We can see the Knicks are 65th percentile in the season, one of the better ones. They've had some turnover. I bet they're even better. Cavs, same thing. I think having Mobley in the mix likely helped them, because some of the bigger scorers, your Giannis's, your Zion's, your maybe Tatum's. He doesn't really defend directly onto Tatum. Or no, weirdly enough, when they play Boston, he defends Jaylen Brown. So he won't be defending Jalen Brunson. So in this instance, it doesn't really matter. Or it doesn't make a difference, I should say. And let's check pick and roll. Cavaliers are the second best pick and roll defense in the NBA. That's where it's not good for Jalen Brunson, because getting switched onto Jared Allen and Evan Mobley, two elite defenders, usually that switch he demolishes against guys like Valanciunas and like other more traditional stocky centers. But against Jared Allen and Mobley, who are some of the most elite big man guarding guards in the NBA, maybe only behind Bam Adebayo, it's not. That's where it's trouble for him. Now, the Knicks, on the other hand, pretty much average. So Garland, Donovan Mitchell, have your fun. It's not a good or bad matchup for you guys. It's just about whether you want to attack it or not. Knicks, again, pretty average at defending the roll man. Cavaliers, also still elite at defending the roll man on the pick and roll as well. Now we can check handoffs. Which team is running it the most? Cavaliers and Knicks both run it some of the most in the NBA. So this is going to be more important segment than it is for most teams. Usually we just end up not skipping, but like skimming over the handoff defense for both teams. In this case, we can't do that. So let's check. Knicks are one of the better teams against the handoffs in terms of efficiency and score frequency. Cavaliers, on the other hand, pretty much the same thing. So now that team has a big edge in that department, we can check free throw frequency. This is very good for Jalen Brunson. This is basically saying the Cavs give up a lot of free throws off the handoff, second most in the NBA, only behind the King. We can see what we got so far. I'm kind of waiting for Garland lines to show up. They're not there yet. Maybe we can get a DiVincenzo at like 15 plus, but like I don't love too much from this game. If we find a decent prop in the other game, we might be able to take this 2 plus, eat some juice, and take like a straight on the other side. So let's get into the next game. Who do we got? OKC and Phoenix. Now Phoenix, no Nurkic, Booker's. What has something happened with Booker? I can't remember. And Beal is dealing with his stuff as well. He got ejected last game, and then he's still dealing with his injury issues. So the Phoenix side is going to be a little bit weird to go over. However, there's still stuff to go over. So let's go do it. Let's go all teams, or hold on. See all stats and opponent last 15 games. And we can see Suns are middle of the pack in assists. I believe they've been better lately, but again, no Nurkic now, so that doesn't help them. Thunder, on the other hand, are also middle of the pack. Now we can check rebounds. Thunder are allowing some of the most. Suns are also allowing some of the most. One thing that's worth mentioning with the Suns, both teams actually give up a lot of offensive boards. So Chet could get some putbacks. Trying to think. Eubanks could get some putbacks. We'll see who are any of them getting a decent amount of offensive rebound chances to begin with. Let's check that first. Let's check last 10 games. Are any of them in the higher ranks? We can check OKC. Doesn't look like Chet is even on this list. Nobody from OKC is on this list for offensive rebound chances. Nurkic is for Phoenix. Thaddeus Young, weirdly enough. So maybe we target Eubanks because let's see. Nurkic is 7 per 26 minutes. And Eubanks is 3.8 per 15 minutes. So if let's extrapolate that. 3.8 divided by 15.6 times 28. That would put him at 6.8 rebound chances. If we want to see where that ranks, still pretty solid. Nick Richards is a good offensive rebounder. So maybe we honestly get some Eubanks props in here. Who knows? Let's see if they even have a line for it, if it's even worth stressing about. Combo rebounds. They don't even have any Suns props. So we're pretty much looking at exclusively OKC. And I'm gonna be honest, I'm pretty sure I already know which one I'm gonna take, but actually no, I don't because the Suns are good against assists. So let's go back to teams and let's look at how teams are scoring against these defenses. So catch and shoot last 15 games, and we see Thunder. They've been pretty much bottom 10 all season in this metric. I'm not surprised. Suns are right there with them. That one does kind of surprise me. They've been all over the place this season. You can check pull-up defenses. Suns allow a lot. They play a variation of drop coverage. That doesn't surprise me. Shea and Jalen Williams should have a good day. Suns and Thunder. Thunder on the other hand, allow some, not anything crazy. Now let's check in the paint. And this is where it's going to get weird for the Suns. They're traditionally pretty solid in the paint. Actually, they've been below average lately, but we can check to see how they do without Nurkic. Let me do this. And Phoenix. Where's Phoenix? There we are. And Yusuf Nurkic. Come on. There we go. And we can check defense. So the shot frequency at the rim goes up. This is a pretty big jump for anybody who doesn't look at these stats frequently. This is a pretty big jump. So teams shoot at the rim a lot more when Nurkic is out, a lot less in the short mid range, though. Now, balances out instead of floaters and touches, more layups. So higher quality looks. And it's surprising that this shot quality technically goes down with him off. Maybe we can see corner three frequency stays up. Shots at the three. So at the rim and around the arc go up big time, it looks like. Long mid range goes down a lot. Just anything mid range goes down a lot. Threes and at the rim go up a bunch. So that's not good for Shea and Jalen Williams, but it is good for guys like Chet. Just saying. So let's get back into here. That's at the rim, and we can check Thunder at the rim. They're pretty much right there with them. No energies to really talk about there. So let's go check play types. Now, Thunder are 1 of 1 against ISOs. Suns, 70th percentile, pretty solid as well. Let's go check transition. Thunder, best transition defense in the air. This is why the Thunder have been so good. They hustle. They don't allow a lot of transition points. They defend hard. They cut off driving lanes. They force you to beat them with pull-up shots, which is fine. Or not pull-up shots, catch and shoot shots. And the Suns are a little bit worse than average, nothing crazy there. Pick and roll ball handler. Again, Thunder, 83rd percentile. Meanwhile, the Suns, they've been a little bit better as of late. I know earlier in the season they were around here. So nothing, no obvious edge, but it is technically a good matchup there. Again, changes because Nurkic is probably out. Let me double check to make sure Nurkic is out. Okay, Nurkic is not out. He's TBD. I believe he didn't play the second half of last game, which is why I thought that, and that was literally last night. So, we'll see what happens there, but we'll try and find a pick that will hit whether he plays or not. But we kind of went over how things change with and without him. We've seen both sides of it, just so you guys know. But now, pick and roll man, Thunder, still elite. Suns, bang average. And lastly, we can check the handoff. We can see if either team is actually running it. We got Suns, not really. Thunder, not really. So we're just not going to look at it. So let's go and find this pick. We already got Donovan Mitchell 2.5 threes in there. Let's find. We can check rebounds as well. One thing we can do is I usually don't like rebound props, but I don't want to take a points prop without knowing the status of Nurkic. And the only assist prop I'd consider taking is Jalen Williams. And here's why. So we can check assists and on the road. Check the last 20 games. So 13 of the last 17 games, he's had 5 or more assists. The misses, Minnesota, probably one of the worst assist matchups you can ask for. Detroit, you don't need to pass on them because they're just going to give you a free drive to the basket. Both of those below 30 minutes, by the way. Orlando, again, that's a good assist matchup for the pick and roll. That's not really how the Thunder run their offense, so I'm still considering that a bad matchup. Spurs, he probably should have hit against. I'm going to be completely honest. That's one that I'm surprised because I was thinking about taking him in this game. From a scoring standpoint, that's really all I'd consider. If you want to talk rebounds, we might be able to find an edge there. So let's do that real quick. We can check the shot distribution for the Suns team in, let's say, the last month. And we can see who's getting the most rebounds in those areas. So shot distribution, shots at the rim, they not a lot. Actually, the second lowest in the NBA. Short mid-range. Oh, hold on. Short mid-range, 11th most, or 11th highest, I should say, since it's frequency. Long mid-range, the most in the NBA. That's going to be important because most teams are not this high. Corner threes, I'm going to assume is pretty low. Yep, ninth lowest. And above the break threes, 18th most. So we're looking at probably mid-range and above the break threes. Those are the ones we're really looking for OKC players. And we'll check since January 1st, get a decent sample size, and rebounds. Come on now. Fred, a lot of people ask what this site is when I reference it in my write-ups. It's PBP Stats. Super useful tool. So OKC players, we're looking at defensive rebound percentage, which basically means the percentage of the team rebounds that they get in shots that come from shots at the rim, shots in the short mid-range, all this stuff. So we wanted long mid-range, short mid-range, and above the break threes, more specifically long mid-range. Keontae, none of these guys count. Hold on. Let me go to 200 minutes. Chet is king here. 25% defensive rebounds. You want to compare that to his other averages, 16.5, 19, 17.8, and 19.7. We can check. I'm sure they've played already this season. We'll just go straight to Chet, actually. He had 6 rebounds in 33 minutes. That was in November. It's a long time ago. That was one of his first games of the season. We can check his hit rate in away games, because we're gonna also water this down too, so we can get a good line. Where's rebounds? 8.5. Let's say we can get him down to 7. We get 7. Now that's much better. And we can check 35, 59 on the season, and 14 of the last 17. Really good. If we want to check away games, hit rates, does it change that much on the season? 62%, 59%. He's actually has a higher hit rate in away games. If we want to say away games with how many minutes has he been getting lately? What is he locked in for? 30 plus. And this is a 41-point blowout, 35-point blowout. I don't think this is the case here, so we'll say 30 plus minutes. So 30 minutes, 27 of 38 on the season, 14 of 20 on the road. If we want to say wins, 18 of 26, 9 of 13. In a good matchup, I'd be comfortable with that. So we could take Chet to get 7. I'd like that. So that would put us at minus 104. I like that, guys. I like that. We'll put 104 to win 100, to win 1 unit. And there we go, guys. So again, if you haven't watched the first episode, go watch that. We got 2 primetime lays for you guys. Hopefully we can make it a 4-0 run on the primetime lays after this. Good luck if you're tailing, and let's have a great Sunday. Let's make some money. So appreciate you guys watching all the way through, and make sure you like and follow if you haven't already. Take care, everybody.